Greetings, I'm Jason and welcome to my comic book reviews. 12 books to review this week. As always, the mission is to try and keep this as close to 20 minutes as possible. The last 2 weeks have unfortunately been epic fails. Hopefully we can get back on track this week. I'm going to kick off my reviews this week with the book I was most anticipating. It is Uncanny Avengers issue number 23 by Rick Remender, with art by an artist I hadn't heard of before. An artist called Sanford Green and Dean White on colours. This is basically the fallout from our last big story arc, Avenge the Earth. And this takes place several weeks after the last issue. Wasp and Scarlet Witch are returning to Manhattan for the first time since it's all happened. Havoc, Sunfire, Banshee and Rogue have been in stasis for some unexplained reason. All through this issue they don't explain why those 4 characters were put into stasis, yet the others weren't. Maybe it mentioned it last issue and I've forgotten, but certainly in this issue they don't mention why. So we get Wasp for the first time since everything happened, meeting up with Havoc and them still dealing with the loss of their daughter. And then you have all the other characters as well have different things going on with them. First off, the art. I didn't like the art in this book. I felt it was not appropriate for this book. I don't think it was bad, and I don't think the artist is bad. I just don't think this was the book for him. This book is a bit more serious, a bit more darker, and you need art that's gonna, you know, there's parts of the story where you feel that the writer is trying to portray this emotion, but because the way the art is drawn, it's more like caricature and more a bit light. It doesn't work. The colours I liked. I thought the colours were nice, but yeah, you look at that and that looks like a totally different tone of book than what we've got here. So first thing, I didn't like the art. I felt some of the developments, like the development with Rogue, I felt like a step backwards. What was going on with Havoc and Wasp I liked, but then when that other character, there's another character that turns up and they kind of believe that character a bit too easily with all they've been through, so that didn't ring true for me. But there was also good in here. I like the whole where we're going with Axis and the end of this issue where we get a glimpse of Red Skull and what's going on there. That was really good. I like the fact that we've got old Steve Rogers now. There's that bit of continuity that I liked. It's difficult these days to do continuity when you've got so many books and characters are in so many books. It's very difficult, and a lot of the time you've just got to let go of continuity and just enjoy each book for the story it's telling. But this felt, I like it when we still get that, you know, where we can, and having old Steve in here rather than, you know, young Cap. I liked that bit of continuity, as I said. Some of the developments I'm really liking, like what's going on with Banshee and Sunfire, and the fact that Havoc is going to remain scarred. I liked some of those developments, and it makes the previous story have more of an impact. Even if it's for a short while, they're going to feel the after effects of it. All in all, this issue, I was really looking forward to it, and I felt it wasn't as great as I was hoping it would be, but I felt the good evened out the bad, and I would give Uncanny Avengers issue number 23 3 stars out of 5. So moving right along, next up we have Batman 66 issue number 14, written by Jeff Parker. This was another really great issue. A lot of fun this book is. Batman and this scientist, they decide to build this bat robot, as you can see on the cover there, and the idea being that Batman can leave this robot to tend to Gotham City, so he and his ward Dick Grayson can go fishing. So we have this robot. There's some great cameos from different villains as the robot's going through Gotham catching all these criminals, and the robot's doing great until it runs into the Joker and the Riddler, who have teamed up to defeat the Bat Robot. I really enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun. It isn't one of those kind of books that blows you away and you're like, oh wow, awesome, but it's a lot of fun. Everything in the book is right on the right kind of tone of the TV show, so that works really, even down to the Bat Robot, you know, because like the Bat Robot's drawn as it would have been imagined in the 60s, which I really liked that, and I thought that was really cool. And like I say, it was a real fun issue, and I'm just, yeah, a lot of fun this is, and I'd give Batman 66 issue number 14 4 stars out of 5. Moving on, we have now from Titan Comics. Well, I don't know if they're called Titan Comics or just Titan. Yeah, they are Titan Comics. It says down there on the bottom, Titan Comics. Anywho, we have issue number 2 of Doctor Who, the 10th Doctor. This issue was another really good issue. I'm really liking the new companion, or as she will eventually become the companion, Gabriela Gonzalez. She's really cool, and she's really, you know, smart, and you can see the Doctor certainly been impressed with some of her reactions to stuff, which I really liked. The Doctor, they got his verbiage spot on. The art is really great. I really like they get the balance right, because sometimes when you have a comic based off a TV show, they can fall in the trap of trying to make each scene a portrait, but they don't. You get the right feel of Tennant, but at the same time it isn't kind of trying to do a portrait. So I think they get the balance right art wise here, and that was really cool. I like the villains in this, and the explanation this issue we get of who they are. There was, when they was explaining this, there was a lot of chunky dialogue that was a bit difficult to get through. But other than that small gripe, I thought this was a really strong issue. I'm really enjoying this. Glad I've added it to my pull, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where they're going to take this book, because so far they're doing a top-notch job. And I give Doctor Who 10th Doctor issue number 2 4 stars out of 5. So now we move to Marvel, and we have Thor and Loki, the 10th Realm, issue number 4, or you can call it Original Sin 5.4, whichever floats your boat. This issue, Thor's been captured by the angels in the 10th Realm, and he's been tortured. Loki has betrayed him and become their mistress of strategy, and she has this whole plan. Loki's gonna like destroy Asgard. The story's kind of topped and tailed with this scene. Well, this mysterious character who we can kind of guess who it is, and I guessed right at the beginning. And we get the reveal of who that character is at the end, which was an awesome moment. There's some really nice twists in this story that I really liked, and I thought this, for me, was the strongest issue of this series thus far. I also really like the art, the way that they have one artist to draw the angels' heaven, and then another artist to draw the rest of the universe, because it really gives heaven a different feel. Like I say, this was really good. While I'm still like, I want to know who is Thor's sister, because yeah, it's intimated that it's Angela, that she's not got wings, and that, you know, that she's the only one angel without wings, and so it's kind of intimated that and that's where it's pointing to, that it's Angela, but it's not, but it hasn't been specified yet. So I'm just wondering, is there going to be some kind of twist in the tale with who the sister actually is? Maybe not, but we want to get to that point where they reunited with their sister, and they seem to be dragging that out. But even though this issue still was just a great issue, and the most I've enjoyed this series thus far, and I'd give Thor and Loki, the 10th Round, issue number 4, 5 stars out of 5. So, moving back to DC, we have Aquaman, issue number 34 for review next. This is written by Jeff Parker, the same guy who writes Batman 66, but this is just a totally different kind of series. I like the Chimera, and I really like the kind of thing they put in, that every power he uses changes his appearance. I really like that. Here I'm Aquaman, just have like this epic fight. This issue just is all them two fighting, and just like tearing shit up, and it's just really awesome. We get a different artist this issue, but I think the artist does a really good job with the art. It's an especially cool bit where Chimera goes into Aquaman's mind, and they colour it all orange, but like, yeah, and then they draw it like that. I really liked. I thought that was really epic. And all in all, the art was just really fun, but it worked for this issue. You know, like I was saying, you can do art like that, but it has to be on the right book, and this was the right book for that. The fight was brilliant, and I loved the way that they wound this story up, but still left a little glimmer for like potentially where the future they could go. So this was another really fun issue, and I'd give Aquaman issue number 34 5 stars out of 5. Oh, next up we have All New X-Men issue number 31, and I had absolutely no clue what was going to happen this month in this book. No idea where the story was going to go, but I bloody loved it. Basically, the characters hook up back together after last issue been off doing their own things. They hook up back together. All the adults, so to speak, have gone off to hear the will of Charles Xavier, leaving the kids, and our original X-Men kind of spot this new mutant who might be in trouble. So they go off to help her, but her new power is just totally awesome, and just really kicks the story in an unexpected way. And this story has so much potential. I'm really excited for where this story could go. Yeah, it is gonna be cool. So this was a really strong issue. That it's just one of those issues that hits you out of nowhere. I really like the characterizations in this of the different characters. And even the art, I felt, yeah, in the beginning, there's some of the art is a bit, you know, kind of like, that some of the art was you could kind of say some of the characters didn't look the same from panel to panel, but that's only the first kind of bit of the book. After that, the art settles down, and like I say, I just really enjoyed the heck out of this. It was a real surprise, and give All New X-Men issue number 31 5 stars out of 5. Next up, we have, sticking with Marvel, we have Fantastic Four issue number 9. This continues the downfall of the Fantastic Four. You know, there's some really dark stuff going on here, and you know, it could almost, the darkness could be overpowering on this issue, because like you see some really bad things happen to characters you care about. Human Torch, you know, and Thing in particular, I'm in a really bad place. But then we've got the original Human Torch and the Future Foundation, and that gives us a bit of light for this issue, which you need. And I think James Robertson has been very clever in how he's balanced the darkness out with a bit of light, that he hasn't made the book too grim, and I think he's balanced it nicely. Also, the reveal at the end, there's a character who I can remember being on the Fantastic Four, actually buying comics when she was part of the team. I've always wondered what happened to her, and looks like we're going to get some answers, and I'm really excited, you know, about for next issue. I think James Robertson's doing a great job. Silly cover aside, this was a really strong issue, and I give Fantastic Four issue number 9 5 stars out of 5. We then move on to my only independent book of the week from Image. It's Saga, issue number 22. This book, I really feel it's becoming stronger again. This issue we come to a head, the whole thing with Marco and Alana, like all what's been building for this arc kind of comes to a head, so I thought that was really cool. Then we have other stuff kind of going on. I loved King Robot. I thought that was awesome. Really loved King Robot. I am a bit concerned about the front page. It was funny and it was fun and it was shocking, as you expect the front page of this series to be. But when we're getting down to like fart jokes, are we kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel now? You know, how far are they going to go to kind of keep this shocking, and how far is going to be too far? So I am a bit concerned about the whole front page thing, but this issue it worked. And yeah, like I say, there's some like nice little things that can build to stories in the future. But all in all, yeah, I thought this was just another really strong issue. Even though I don't want to see Marco and Alana split up, the story, this issue was it grabbed you and it got your attention like Saga used to, and so that was cool. And I'd give issue number 22 of Saga 5 stars out of 5. So moving on now to The Flash issue number 34, and the bulk of this issue is kind of taken up with Detective Seaburn and the Flash kind of bringing him in, and him using all the weapons of the Mashup Gang to backle the Flash. So like, and wasn't really into that story, even though I did like the bit where we get the origin and how Seaburn got all the weapons. I did like that bit. But yeah, development with Wally West there that I liked, and that looks like it could go somewhere interesting. But in the bulk of the comic was like, for me, was okay. It wasn't blowing me away because I wasn't really that invested in that part of the story. But then the end of the issue, we get the Future Flash stuff, and we go 5 years into the future as Future Flash is trying to fight off our future Reverse Flash. And so like that's going to be continued next issue. So that was really cool how, like, because the time travel element of the story, that we're going to get that into next issue, and it's going to be part of Future's End month, and it's going to continue this story. So that was really cool how the writers did that. Still totally in love with the art of Brett Booth. He does a fantastic job here again. So yeah, all in all, I felt in the main most of the story was okay, but it really ended really strong. So I'd give The Flash issue number 34 4 stars out of 5. Next up we have the New 52 Future's End issue number 17, and this is my pick of the week. This was just awesome. Last week we started getting answers, and that was brilliant. This week we get even more. We get the truth behind Superman and why he wears the mask. We get all of that figured out. We that and then leads to just rejoining Constantine and us getting another big reveal at the end of the issue that kind of leads out of the first reveal. So that was awesome. That we're getting these answers now is just, oh wow, I was blown away because I would never have guessed. And maybe some people would say, well, it was obvious, but no, I would never have guessed. The other thing that's really impressive about this, it hasn't got Frankenstein in, yet I still absolutely love the issue. Usually my favourite issues of Future Ends are the ones that really heavily feature Frankenstein. But no, this issue, no Frankenstein, but it was still bloody awesome. Even like the stuff on Cadmus Island is getting really interesting now. And the Emiko and Big Barda storyline is getting good. And you can see some of these stories now beginning to link up, which is also awesome. So yeah, this was a really strong issue. I think the real high point of the series thus far, and that makes Future's End issue number 17 my pick of the week. We then move on to Guardians of the Galaxy issue number 18. This is our penultimate book to review this week. This issue, I didn't read all the cosmic stuff before, so I know of the Richard Rider Nova, but I don't know too much about him. I think I've read like one maybe 2 comics with him in, so I don't really know what went on with the Cancerverse and how these characters were supposed to be dead. But it gives you the information that you need, that they were here, and it gives you enough to follow, you know, for somebody in the dark. And I really loved this story. Seeing Star-Lord, Drax, and Nova battling Thanos in the Cancerverse was really cool. And I liked how the story was structured. I didn't really understand why Gamora now had kidnapped Star-Lord to get the truth out of him. But hopefully that's going to kind of come out as we go on. But yeah, this issue was a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to see the next issue, to see the culmination of this story, because this was a really great issue. Even though, like I say, I didn't have that much invested in it because I didn't see all the stuff way back when. But yeah, this was a fun issue. Art-wise, I thought McGinnis does a bang-up job, and I'd give Guardians of the Galaxy issue number 18 5 stars out of 5. And finally this week we have The Amazing Spider-Man Learning to Crawl 1.4. Once again, Dan Slott with his writing captures the time perfectly. You have the art here by Perez. I want to get the guy's full name, Ramon Perez. It just really fits the time as well, and I think that's all really cool how they've done all of that. I liked the kind of stories of what's going on here with Clash and with Spider-Man, leading them down to an eventual, you know, collision. I liked that. I also really liked, because there was things that were going on in the book that you think, well, that never happened to Peter Parker. He didn't have all these friends, and he didn't, you know, and yet, so like the stuff, this issue, it kind of explains why all that stuff goes away, and I liked the way that they done that. And it, yeah, I was very, very satisfied with this issue, and it was really good. Like I say, the art does feel very much of the time, while not being overly retro. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it's the way that it's coloured more than the way it's drawn. But it just does have that vibe of how it was. And yeah, this was just another really fun issue. I really loved this whole learning to crawl story, and I'd give issue Spider-Man learning to crawl, issue number 1.4, 5 stars out of 5. Woohoo! I done it. According to my clock here, it is 19 minutes and 50 odd seconds going into 20 minutes. It might be longer because when I record it to when I produce it, I'll put the beginning on, so that will make it a bit longer. But yes, we have done it. I have stuck around 20 minutes. I am so chuffed. I'm going to go and give myself a Scooby snack now for doing that. Thank you very much for watching this video and making it to the end. I will be back next week with another haul video, and then the following weekend with another review video. It's a massive week for me this week, comic book wise. I've got 18 books coming out, which is going to be insane. Of course, it kicks off, will be in September, and it will kick off Future's End month, so that will be interesting. I've enjoyed Future's End, and I think because Future's End was so strong this week, I'm a bit more excited about seeing all these different comics of what's I've expanded this world a bit more than I was. But anywho, that's me done for this week. Like I said, thank you very much for watching. I've been Jason. This has been my comic book reviews. Bye for now.